Hey, what's the deal, people? It's your boy Big Star Raw Sports. RawSports.tv is the website. Make sure you go and check out the YouTube channel, Raw Sports Films. If you haven't already, if you're watching this, follow my Instagram page that you're watching right now. And follow me on Twitter at Big Star Raw Sport. Tonight, I got a special treat for anyone who's a part of or follows the Philadelphia area, Pennsylvania high school hoop culture. Got my man Collin Gillespie, who's been a part of the Raw Sports family, for years now. Tons of classic memories from the Philadelphia, Catholic League championships down to Palestra, to home games, what I'm saying, at his place at Wood. And watching him, do his thing at Villanova, man, with the Wildcats, national champion and all that, man. So we're going to get my man Collin Gillespie on in a second. He's going to, tell his story as only he can. And just want to let everyone know at the very end, if you guys have been following along with the format, at the very end of this live broadcast off the court with Collin Gillespie, we're going to have a Q&A. So I'm going to, open it up to the people to ask my man Collin some questions, some things that have been on your mind, some questions about his current career, the future, or whatever it is that y'all want to shoot his way. All right, so we're going to wait for my man Collin Gillespie to jump on. And FYI, I got my notepad here now, so if anybody wants to, while we wait for Collin to get on, if anybody wants to give me some questions right now, I'll actually jot them down and, just, keep them handy till the end of the broadcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Man. I'm, praying everybody's out there safe and, healthy, during this crazy time, quarantine and all that. All y'all hoopers out there, man, hopefully you guys are figuring out creative ways to stay busy, up on your skills and all that kind of stuff. Here we go. My man Collin G just joined. My man Collin G.
What's up?
Hold up. My man took a swig. Let me take a swig. My man, let me make sure we good here. All turned up. So what's good, man? Raw Sports family, Collin G, man. It's been a while since the last time I saw you, man. How you been doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you? Trying
I'm
to stay
blessed.
busy?
Yeah. I'm trying to stay as busy as I can. During this crazy time, opportunities like this, to be creative and still, stay in tune to my supporters, to give some creative things to the culture, man, some content and all that. And, my family's well, my family's blessed. How about your family? How's everybody doing?
No, everyone's good. My brother's here at home. My sister's like 30, 40 minutes away with her husband and her kid. And then my dad's a cop, so he's been working, and my mom's in the field, so she's been in and out of work and the hospital. But everyone's good.
No doubt. Well, I definitely, knowing their situations with work and everything, I definitely be keeping in my daily prayers, man. I definitely will.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No doubt. So, real quick, we're gonna get right into it. Listen, I have a lot of questions for you, and I'm just anxious and I'm just excited. Happy to be here with you, man. So, real quick, the last time I saw you, was you at the 7 overtime thriller with Wood and Paul?
Mm-hmm.
You were there. I think that's the last time I saw you. Correct?
Yeah, probably
okay.
There.
Real quick, what are your thoughts about that game, man? 7 overtimes, like that was insane, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was probably one of the best high school games I've ever watched. I was a part of a crazy one my junior year. We went to 3 overtimes, but 7 overtimes was unheard of. And it was just really fun to watch. Those guys are all great competitors and high-level athletes, and most of them will definitely play at the next level. So it was fun to watch. It was a little interesting how starters and everything were getting fouling out and stuff like that, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was an interesting factor how the game started with all the star players, and toward the end, it ended with like the
JV guys.
Yeah, JV guys. That was crazy. And it was also cool because there was opportunities for guys who weren't necessarily in the limelight to get a chance to show what they can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Like Deshaun Shepard, he's still wouldn't let him lose. You know what I'm saying? He was still holding on. So cool, man. So hey, I'm gonna jump right into it with 10 random questions. You ready? You ready to have some fun?
Yep. Let's do it.
All right. So summertime cookout. What's on your plate?
Mac and cheese, probably some chicken, and greens, some sort of green.
No doubt. Favorite cartoon growing up?
Ooh, SpongeBob.
SpongeBob?
Yep.
Neck and neck with anything, or just flat out
I
SpongeBob?
love Danny Phantom.
No doubt. No
That
doubt.
was a good one. Jimmy Neutron, but
Oh yeah.
SpongeBob was probably the best one because it was most consistent.
Now, between you and our viewers, do you still tune in every now and then, little SpongeBob, little Jimmy Neutron?
Nah, never actually. I'll be honest. I haven't watched SpongeBob since before high school.
No doubt. All right. So, question for you regarding SpongeBob: Who was besides SpongeBob? Who was your favorite co-star? You know, your favorite, your other go-to character on SpongeBob?
Patrick,
Patrick.
for sure. Yeah.
No doubt. What's the food that you hate? Would absolutely never eat, like ever?
Uh, oh, Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts.
Awful.
No doubt. Do you have a favorite movie, new school or old school? Something that like whenever it's on, or something that you'll just put on, like whenever you just like it's a movie you love.
I'll give you two. Basketball movie, Coach Carter, and then just a regular movie is called The Town.
The Town. I love it. I love it. Classic movie. Pre-game song. When you got your headphones on for a big game, national championship, anything, what are you listening to get you in the mood?
God, you asked me a lot of tough ones. I listen to a lot. Probably my three that I listen to would be Meek, Travis, and Lil Baby.
No doubt.
And now Dub Baby too.
No doubt. So besides like think go back to when you were at Wood,
Mm-hmm.
and besides your teammates on the Wood team, who were some other players in the PCL or just in Pennsylvania at the time that you enjoyed, that you enjoyed watching, that you respected as players?
Dada for sure. He's going to be my teammate, so I love watching him play. He played with Quade. Quade was fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Bats was always fun to watch and play against. I'm trying to think who else. Lonnie was fun to watch, just because of the following that he had from Reading. He brought an entire community together, so that was cool to see. The other people from my area, Isaiah Brockington was fun to watch because I grew up playing with him, so just watching him grow was cool. Mark Rodriguez. A lot of the guys I played AAU with, I liked to watch because those were my guys I grew up with playing with. So,
no doubt.
There's a lot of guys in the Catholic League.
No doubt. What's your favorite subject in school currently, or one of the favorite subjects you've had over the last couple of years at Villanova, or anything?
I'm major in communication, so anything in those classes. My least favorite was we had to take an ethics class. I always thought that was pointless, but I had a philosophy of education class or philosophy of fitness class. It was pretty interesting. It talked about like your body and your mind. So that was probably one of my more favorite classes that I took.
Got you. Life after basketball, career-wise, what could you see yourself doing?
These are tough. I mean, I don't really think about it that much because I want to play basketball for a long time if I can and make a living off it. But
Yep.
Obviously the ball stops bouncing at some point for everyone. But I mean, I kind of want to give back, share my knowledge of the game. So if I don't know if I want to coach, but I want to stay involved in basketball or in sports somehow.
Totally makes sense. You put your thinking cap on. Over your entire career, how many championships do you think you've won or been a part of winning? AAU, high school, Villanova.
AAU, high school. 25, 30 plus.
About 25, 30 plus?
Yeah.
What was the most memorable chip, if you had to pick one?
I'm not picking between a national championship and Catholic League. Catholic League was special to myself and like the seniors because it was the first time we had done that. The Wood had done that, my high school. So that was special for us.
Oh, so was that the first PCL for Wood when y'all did that?
Yes.
Wow.
So that was special for us and our team. And then the national championship, obviously, that's one of the highest levels of basketball. There's 95,000 people there. Um, so I'm not going to pick between those two, but it was those two.
No doubt, that's safe. Lastly, regarding 10 random questions, have you been paying attention to the Last Dance
Yeah.
series?
Yep. I watch it every week.
No doubt. So being a younger player in this era, what's something that stuck out to you that you learned, something that was new to you, just something interesting about the series so far?
I love Jordan's competitiveness. Everything to him was a competition. Um, I loved how like there was guys that he knew in the other on the other teams that he just got along with off the court, but anytime that he stepped in between those lines, he was going to do whatever it took to win. And he was also a great leader. The craziest story was him going to get what's called out of Vegas.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, going to get Rodman out of Vegas. So
That was crazy.
it kind of just shows you how much of a leader he is and how great of a teammate he was.
No doubt. I appreciate it, man. So let's get into Collin Gillespie, man. If it's anyone who does not know you, people that only see you on the court, they have no idea who you are off the court, man. Talk about yourself like you're not yourself. Who is Collin Gillespie?
I mean, I'm laid back off the court. I think I have kind of two different personalities. Once I step on the court, I'm a competitor. I want to win, and I'll probably do anything to win. Because I get really competitive with anything I do, whether it's at home, whether it's on the court. But I have a kind of a different mentality once I step across the lines or I'm in between those lines of just doing whatever it takes to win. But when I'm off the court, I'm kind of laid back, quiet. I'm not really a loud, outgoing person. I like to keep to myself and my family, just hang out with friends.
No doubt. And speaking of family, how do you think your family would describe you? A few words about how they would describe you or your personality.
I think they probably see that side of me, just a quiet side, but I also like to joke and have fun and like play games with my family, do a lot of little stuff with them. But I'm a family guy where I just like to be around them a lot, and I think that's kind of the reason why I chose to stay close to home because I could just come home whenever I wanted to. They could come see me play, but I think they would say I was quiet, I was funny. I enjoy having a good time.
No doubt. And how do you think over the years, whether it was coaches at Wood, Coach Moscow, or Coach Jay Wright and all the assistants, how do you think they describe you on the court?
On the court, I would say they just would say a winner and a competitor. I mean, I really, like I said, I do whatever it takes to win. I'm a good leader. I've always had that quality. I feel like just from playing football and playing basketball, being a quarterback, being a point guard, it's kind of a quality that you need to have. So I would say they would probably say leader and competitor. But
No
then
doubt.
they would say the same thing off the court that I was quiet and I was laid back.
No doubt. Speaking of like you touched on childhood stuff coming up and all that kind of stuff. Where are you from? Tell the people where you're from, where you grew up.
I grew up in Northeast Philadelphia, Huntington Valley area, so it's like right on the border. But I grew up in Pine Valley. It's in Northeast Philly. And then I moved going into high school to Huntington Valley. We bought my grandmom's house. It was like 2 minutes away, and then I ended up going to high school. But I grew up in kind of Northeast Philadelphia area.
No doubt. So what was a few words about your childhood, kind of growing up, and then also you can wrap that up by just telling me about your family members.
My childhood was I mean, we didn't really do much. I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball. Real family oriented. So my sister is the oldest. She is 28. She got married 2 years ago, had her first kid last year. And then my brother is a year older than me. He plays football at Widener.
Okay.
And all three of us are super competitive growing up. We used to compete a lot. Me and my brother still do.
Yeah.
But we're just really competitive family, really loving. My parents raised us really well. So, I mean, we had a lot of fun growing up, just being close in age and kind of being able to compete with each other. And then my sister was like a second mom to us. She watched us do everything for us.
No doubt. So of the basketball players in the house, I mean, who's the if you guys had a court out front in the driveway, who's the king of the driveway, man?
Back then when we were younger, my dad.
No
I would
doubt.
say now myself.
No doubt. No doubt. Cool. And you mentioned football. So
Hmm.
what other sports did you play growing up? So basketball, football, anything else?
Basketball, football, and baseball. I stopped baseball before I got to high school. Um, and then I played football for 2 years in high school, and then I stopped after my sophomore year. But um, football was more. It's weird. My brother used to play basketball when he was growing up. I used to play football, and that was my sport. And then we kind of just flip flop when we got to high school. He loves football, and he plays in college, so
Yeah.
that's
So
his
so
sport, and I'm basketball now.
so football was like I guess your main sport growing up, you think?
Yeah, up until eighth grade,
And what position did you play?
quarterback.
Did you?
Yeah,
And you finished. So when you were at in high school, your high school years, you were at Wood the entire time.
yeah.
Okay, and you played. What level would you play varsity?
I played freshman my freshman year, and then I played JV varsity my sophomore year, and then after my sophomore year, I stopped
Got
to
you. So
just
what?
focus on basketball.
Okay, so to focus on basketball. So
Mhm.
just imagine if basketball, you wouldn't have had the love for it, or basketball wasn't an issue. Do you think football would have been something that you would have chased and like really, like try to get try to take that to another level, or what?
Yeah, definitely. I would have tried to play somewhere, for sure. I love football growing up. That was my favorite sport. That was
Yeah,
probably my first love with sports.
yeah. What's one of your earliest memories of playing basketball?
Uh, I mean, I had a ball ever since I grew up. My parents put a basketball in my hand like when I was 2 years old, and then I was playing intramural basketball when I was four, probably because that's when I started playing football too. I
Got you.
played basketball and football when I was four.
Got you. Were you good? Were you a good little guy player? Like, was it like, oh my God, look at that fifth grader, he's gonna be the greatest in the nation, or you were just an average little guy?
I mean, I was good as a fifth grader. If I was in fifth and sixth grade, I was pretty good as a fifth and sixth grader, but I was not like gonna stand out against certain other guys that I was playing against at that age.
Yeah. When did you start to love basketball? Like, I really love this, and in your mind, say, you know what, I really can like take this to another level, like, because I'm really loving it, and I'm seeing I'm a little bit better than my peers.
My sophomore year of high school, when I that's why I probably started really loving it. We would go on AAU trips over the summer, and I would play with those guys. And I had my AAU coach, Chris Rowntree, was actually my assistant at Wood, and just being around all those guys, my coaches, they made the game really fun for me, and it made me enjoy it a lot and start to love it. So um, credit to those guys and kind of just helping me find a path, and then they really helped me get to where I am in terms of school wise because they were in contact with people with certain coaches, so they helped me out a lot, and that's probably when I really started to love it sophomore year.
No doubt. So let's talk about your hoop career, and we can talk about AAU, or we can talk about high school and all your accomplishments, memories, memorable games. Which would you want to talk about first?
What was that?
If you want to talk about your hoop career, like your high
Okay,
school years. So we can talk about the AAU experience first, or we can talk about your high school years. Which one would you want to break down first?
we can talk about AAU first.
All right, yeah. So just talk about the AAU teams you played for, memorable experiences, and just kind of what that experience is like for you.
AAU was a lot of fun for me. I grew up. I played with Northeast Sting ever since I was probably in third grade, and
Hmm.
then I played with the Northeast Sting. We had like kind of the same team for a while. It was a lot of local guys, a lot of Catholic League guys from our area, and
And that was a team based out of the area that you kind of grew up in, out in the Northeast area.
yeah, Northeast Philly.
Got you.
And it was a lot of those guys, a lot of local guys, and we kind of just went to local tournaments
Hmm.
up until we were about in seventh grade, and then we would start to go to nationals, and then after our eighth grade year, I think we beat Team Final Blue
Hmm.
in a game, and they asked us to be their black team. So then we took all of our guys and were Team Final Black for the last like 3 years of our AAU.
Okay, so you guys combined and became Team Final Black.
Yeah.
Got you, got you. So how, what was that for, what did you notice about, like, was there a shift in, okay, now we're under the team final umbrella. Did you notice any differences in like exposure or just the attention or what?
We would go to bigger tournaments. Um, Definitely, we would go to bigger tournaments. And I think just having team final across our chest was a little bit more exposure because people knew about them. They were a circuit team, so I think when people saw us, they knew that we were their black team. And instead of seeing Northeast Sting,
Yeah.
which I love personally, I love playing for them because it was like the local team and like
Hmm.
everyone knew of us around the area. But once we became team final, it was like more people started to notice us because of the name across the front of our chest.
Yeah. What's one thing that you'll always remember, never forget, or like that you most missed about the whole AAU experience? The hotels and
Yeah,
playing several games a day, and oh, there's such and such. He's whatever. What do you most miss about that experience?
definitely my friends and the teammates and just going on trips and being in hotels. That was definitely my favorite thing. We would always have fun just being around each other because we would be around each other the entire summer. You go 3 or 4 days and you get 2 days off, and then you go on another trip 3 or 4 days. So I basically was living with them in the summer time for my last like 3 years because that's when it got really serious. So definitely that, just those trips and being with those guys was a lot of fun.
No doubt. So let's talk about your high school. Oh, real quick, one other thing before we get out of the AAU conversation. How was your recruiting going? You know what I mean? How was what was that experience like for you?
It
With
was
with,
kind
with the push of just the whole AAU experience. How was it going for you? You think?
It was hectic. There was a lot of coaches that would call late at night, early, and honestly, it didn't really pick up until my junior year because I had a lot of Division II coaches and a lot of Division II offers into my junior year, and then my junior summer, going into my senior year, is when I started. I had two offers, two Division I offers, coming out of my junior summer, um, and that was really it. And then there was a lot of local people talking to me, CAA schools, A10 schools for the first like half of my senior year. And then I started talking to Villanova, and I kind of wanted it to be done with, so I was happy that I found them.
Yeah. So was it more stress and pressure? You sound like you kind of get to the point where you just wanted it to be over and
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's what a lot of kids want. They want it to get to the point where it's almost over and where you can cut down a list and talk to certain coaches
yeah,
that you're really interested in. Because once you don't cut it down, there's just people hitting you up whenever, like throughout the day,
yeah,
um, which kind of got overwhelming at some points. But that's the process, and that's kind of what you have to deal with.
yeah.
But towards the end of it, I was happy. I was done with it, and then I just got to focus on my senior year and finishing out that.
No doubt. So speaking of your senior year, sum up your career at Wood, accomplishments, memorable experiences, big games, anything you want to talk about regarding your senior year, your experience at Wood.
Our, at Wood, it was a lot of fun. My first 2 years, I was a little. I mean, I was small. I was like 6 foot, probably like 160 or something like that. I played two sports, so I wasn't really focused on basketball as much. But after my sophomore year, I knew I had to start taking it more serious, and that's when I stopped football and started playing basketball. So I think junior and senior year were really important years for myself, developing like for basketball. Um, I think two games that really stand out to me, or three. Um, the Carroll game my junior year when we lost in triple overtime. That
Okay.
was probably the closest we've been to um, the Palestra.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the Newman game my senior year, the regular season game, and then the PCL championship was really special.
No doubt. No doubt. Um, One game that sticks out to me, and I know you remember this one. Do you remember when y'all went up against the
I know what
Kegaries
you're gonna
twins?
talk about.
The Kegaries
Yeah,
twins and Emmaus?
yeah,
Listen, all
And
right.
Tyree at the winner.
Listen, to set the stage, I was standing next to Pickron's dad. And you could always hear
Yeah,
him always yelling,
uh huh.
"Hands Wood, let's go Wood." and he didn't know anything. That's when I first met Pickron's dad. That's the first day I met him because he was yelling, and I
Yeah.
told him before the game. I said, "Yo, man," because he was like, I guess in his mind he was like, "Yo, we're gonna wipe up the floor with Emmaus." But I told him, I said, "Look, those two twins are different. This gonna be a dog fight." And he was like, "Yeah, right, yeah, right." So listen, it's the game started going, and before you know it, end of the game, it's 59-59 with like a few seconds left, and I was looking at him every quarter. I would look at Pickron's dad, like, I told you, man, it's gonna be a dogfight, man. So, what are your memories about that game and those twins, man?
I mean, there's a lot of back and forth. I remember that was the game right after the Newman game that we had won, and that was the first time we beat Newman. So I think we were a
Yes.
little excited about that, and I think we came into the game thinking like, we just beat Newman, we're fine. Like because we were blown. Like that year we were like beating everybody by like 10 points at least, 10 to 15 points a game. So I think we came in not really knowing who they were. I mean, I had played against them when I was younger, and they used to kill our AAU team when we were younger, so I remembered them and I knew who they were.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen them play in a while, but I remember them, and they're two little fast, quick guards. And it was fun to play against them because I hadn't played against them in so long, but they got up and down.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of shots off their team. I remember their team very well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, that was a great game, man. Who's during your high school career, what's like one of the toughest players that you played against? Somebody that where it's like, yo, hats off, man. Like every time I compete against you or your school, it's a fight. Like, what's one player, a couple players you definitely, left respecting?
In high school?
Yes.
I mean, Quade and Fats were probably the two guys that we played every year, and guys that from the area that were just fun to play against because we were always just competing and going at each other. So those two are probably my favorite to play against personally because that was my position, and those were guys I had to guard.
No doubt. Two things before we wrap up talking about high school and transition to Villanova. Talk about Coach Moscow. Everything you learned from him. Just shout him out, man. What it was like playing under him, and then your teammates at Wood.
Yeah, basketball was so much fun when I was in high school and I was playing with those guys, because we had played with each other for 4 years, and then Tyree came in, Seth came in, all those guys, Andrew Funk. That was fun to play with those guys for 3 or 4 years. But Coach Moscow and Coach Krista, they did a lot for me in terms of basketball, helping me to get where I am, talking to coaches for me, trying to get me to go to visits because I never wanted to go visit anywhere. So they did a lot.
Why not?
I mean, I was still in high school. I was just trying to be a kid, still a high school kid. My weekends coaches were talking to me, come up this weekend, come up next weekend, and I was kind of just like, I don't really want to think about it right now. I kind of just want to play basketball and play my season. But they did a lot for me in terms of basketball and pushing me to be at Villanova, to be a better basketball player. But then playing with my teammates, that was probably the most fun I've ever had. Playing basketball was fun. We were playing free. Then my senior year, it was just we didn't want to lose. We didn't have a home gym. And then the seniors, myself, Matt, Keith, Sean Thompson, we lost the year before, and we wanted to get to the Palestra. And then I think midway through the year, we won against Newman, and we kind of just didn't look back from there. We just didn't want to lose.
No doubt, no doubt. Tyree Pickron said you wanted to be with your big bro.
He knows who his big bro is.
No doubt. What were some of your I guess what you can talk about it currently. What are some of your strengths that you had then that you still have now? Some of your strengths on the court, and things that you do well. You think that coaches appreciate about your game and that you appreciate about yourself.
I think I shoot the ball really well. Share the ball. With my teammates, I'm able to find them really well. But I think I'm a really good leader vocally and by example. I'll do whatever it takes to win. And I think that's just something that comes with me. I play with a chip on my shoulder, just from being kind of under-recruited my entire high school career. And having other people be better than me growing up. I just kind of play with a chip on my shoulder at all times.
No doubt. Were they some of the same strengths that you had in high school that you have now? Were they kind of still kind of solid?
Yeah, definitely. I think in high school, I kind of took a back seat for a little bit on being a leader because we had older guys. Um, but I mean, I've always been able to shoot the ball really well, find other guys, and um, lead by example.
No doubt. What are some? I don't like to use the word weaknesses, but what are some things that you still constantly want to improve on, just on a daily basis? You know, going into as you progress, and possibly become a professional. Some things you still want to improve on.
Obviously, physically getting stronger, faster, and then I think just my IQ, uh, learning the game. I think a lot of kids, younger kids, think they know the game really well, but then you get to college, it's a whole nother level. So you got to keep continuing to learn the game. The speed of the game, it gets faster as you keep going on. So just trying to play with pace, learn the game, get better with my IQ.
No doubt. Earlier, you had mentioned one of the reasons why, because I was going to ask you, why did you finally settle on Villanova? And you kind of answered it. You said, one, it was the proximity, being close to home. What are some other reasons why, you said, yeah, Villanova is going to be the place to me for college basketball?
Uh, Definitely being close to home, having my family be able to come um, see me and watch games whenever they wanted to. Um, my brother goes to Widener, who is 20 minutes from Villanova. I could go watch his
Yeah,
games.
that's right at the Blue Route. Yeah.
hmm And then my sister was also half hour from Villanova. She lives up by Westchester, so she just had her first kid. So going to see my niece, being able to see her grow up, um, being around all of them. But then also in terms of Villanova, the culture that they had, their player development, the teammates that I would have, the coaches, um, and I think like having Dada, who was at Newman that I played against for 4 years, really helped going in there knowing somebody, um, being able to learn from Jalen, Phil, Dante, Mikhail, all the older guys, Eric, was really important because I was supposed to go in there in red shirt and I ended up not. Um, but it was good for me to go in there, learn from those guys, be able to see college basketball at that level, and really learn the game better. Um, and I just love the whole culture there, the whole family aspect of it.
No doubt. What's talking about the transition from high school to college? What was one of the biggest adjustments to two-part question? One of the biggest adjustments to college life, period, and then talk about one of the biggest adjustments to the college game.
College life, time management, um, and then college game, the speed of the game. College life's a lot different because you're on your own. You're living on your own. You got to feed yourself. Um, in terms of basketball wise, you have practice or a lift in the morning, then you have classes throughout the day, then practice in the afternoon. So you have to be able to get your schoolwork done on time, um, get a good amount of sleep, rest because you're doing it every day. Make sure assignments are on time. So definitely time management, knowing when stuff is due, knowing when you have certain stuff where you have to be at certain times is important. And then the speed of the game was a lot different because you're playing against bigger, stronger guys. The game's more physical, um, and it's the best of the best, really. We used to use this term all the time. My family, like, as as you get older, the pond gets smaller and the fish get bigger. So you're playing against bigger, stronger people.
No doubt, no doubt. Um, if you could now, let's talk about something got you
Well,
laughing in the
my
comments.
brother just said something. That's what I was laughing at. My brother's working out downstairs, and I had to leave the basement.
No doubt. If you could, let's. I have tons of questions that I want to ask you about the college experience, but I'm gonna just let you talk, and then I'll just kind of fill in the blanks. If there's any questions I want to interject about college that I wrote down earlier. But just let's just sum up. This is your junior year.
Yeah, I'm a junior, gonna be a senior.
Got you. So sum up the last 2.5 seasons or just 3 seasons. Sum up your college career for me to date. Just memories, experiences. Just kind of break it down for me.
I mean, overall, I've had a great experience. Going in, I was supposed to redshirt, but then being able to play my first year, learn from the six guys that were there, and then we won the national championship that year, won the Big East championship. So getting to experience all of that as a freshman was really exciting. Um, I mean, you can't really ask for much more as a freshman going in to play college basketball. All we knew going into our sophomore year was winning. So I think sophomore year, the beginning of that year was a little rough for us because
I'm going to cut you off. You were part of the national championship when you were a freshman.
yeah, 2018 I was part of the national championship and Big East
Gotcha.
championship.
So you walked into a chip.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So freshman year, there's nothing much more you can ask for. Um, Winning national championship on the biggest stage, Big East championship, biggest stage, and then going into our sophomore year, I think the sophomores, my class was a little shocked that all those guys had left and we were thrown into new roles, and then we just had Eric and Phil who we were really leaning on as senior leaders. So we got our butts kicked a few times early sophomore year and got a taste of reality. But then kind of just bounced back and ended up winning another Big East championship my sophomore year. And then obviously running into Carson Edwards and Purdue at the end of that year, that was tough. And then going into junior year, it was kind of just like we wanted to bounce back, prove to the guys that came before us that we were capable of being big-time players and continuing the tradition and keeping it alive. So it was kind of we played well throughout the year, got to share the Big East championship for the regular season, and then it was cut short going to the Big East tournament, which we thought we had a good opportunity to be in the finals for.
No doubt. Tell me about that parade, man. Being a freshman, participate. I remember I looked online and saw a picture of you, just all excited at the parade. Just talk about that experience, man.
That was a really cool experience for me because I grew up in the city. So I think that was the same year that the Philadelphia Eagles won.
Exactly. Yep.
So there was a parade for them that year, and then I was 2008. The Phillies won, so I was there for that. So I think it was kind of a different feel just being there on the bus, and there's everyone around. You look out into the crowd, you see people that you grew up with, parents that you know that from when you grew up. So it was a really cool experience for me just being from this area and being able to do that.
No doubt. Take me back to your freshman year, I guess that summer before school started. Tell me about your first practice. And did you have kind of like a uh-oh moment? Were you nervous going into the first practice, or what was the first practice like?
I don't think I was nervous because we had been there in the summer. So we had summer workouts June and July, then we went home for August, and then the first practice was in September. I think this 15th or 17th, somewhere in that area in the middle of September. So, I had practiced. I had played against those guys, so I wasn't really nervous. I was kind of used to it by that point.
Got you. What's it like playing under Jay Wright?
It's really cool to play under him, being able to learn from him because he's one of the best to ever do it. As a coach, he knows a lot. He's been in a lot of programs, learned from a lot of players. He's great at player development. He was at USA this past summer, so he's got a lot of connects with NBA coaches, NBA players, learning from those guys. He's around them, and he brings that back to us and kind of helps us with that stuff and teaches us about the NBA game and then the college game, how they're different, and what the NBA guys like to see and stuff like that. So it's really good to learn from him.
Yeah. Has there been over the years a particular player or upperclassman when you were, underclassman who was like a mentor for you, who kind of like showed you the ropes as far as, whenever you were down, or someone that encouraged you or just gave you pointers when you needed them?
Yeah, Jalen. When I was a freshman, he was my roommate in the summer, my road roommate, and I kind of just learned everything from him.
No doubt. What's one piece of adversity that you experienced, and then how did you get out of it during the college experience?
My freshman year, I was playing. I came in. I wasn't expecting to play. I was going to redshirt, and then I was started to play. I was playing good minutes, probably like 15 minutes a game, and then I broke my hand. And I never had really dealt with an injury in the middle of a season before, so I didn't know if I was going to redshirt, take a medical redshirt, or come back and play. And I think we ended up losing to Butler at Butler, and I decided that I was going to come back and play and start rehab right away.
No doubt. What are some personal goals that you have? Some things. I mean, you walk right into your freshman season and you accomplish a national championship. I mean, talking about goals. I mean, that's that's it. But what are some additional goals, personal goals you have, athletic goals you still have that you want to, either prior to college or after college, or whatever. Just personal goals, things you still want to accomplish.
I think my last year at Villanova, I definitely want to win as much as I can. I want to win a Big East championship. I want to win a national championship. I want to be a leader of a team and lead our team to Big East and national championship. So that's probably something I want to do. I want to do it as a team. And then obviously I want to play at the highest level I possibly can. And I think I'm in the right spot to do that. Being around Villanova, player development guys who are in the league, I learn a lot from them. Growing up as a freshman, I learned a lot from them. So just that.
No doubt. We're almost wrapped up here. And just want to take a quick break to just shout out and thank all the viewers, everybody that's tuned in right now. If you're just checking in, you're tuned in watching my man Collin Gillespie, formerly of Archbishop Wood, current Villanova Wildcat, big star Raw Sports off the court, man. When me and Collin wrap up our questions, I'm gonna open it up to the people to do some Q&A, Collin. So I'm gonna just let them, we'll just read the questions on the screen and just let you answer any questions from the people. I wanted to ask you about Brunson, and you said he was your mentor, and I think you talked about some of the things that you've got from him as far as mentoring and everything. What are some other things that you got from that experience? I mean, because he's such a great player and everything. Like, what are some other, just one other thing that you kind of took from Brunson? And then also, like, then when he moved on, some things that kind of still stuck with you, and you carried them on.
Yeah, some things that, because going into freshman year, I wasn't really expecting anything. I knew it was going to be different, the pace of the game, but approaching the game, the food he ate, he did a lot to prepare, watching film. So I learned a lot from him in that aspect off the court, how much he worked out, how much extra shots he got up, the food that he ate, how he prepared before games, watching film, getting in extra with coaches. I think all of that I learned a lot from him. And then I think what I took from him was how great of a leader that he was, in terms of just, you don't have to score every point. Just make sure, our whole thing is make sure the team's playing Villanova basketball and being the point guard. I think that's my job, to make sure we're playing Villanova basketball.
No doubt, no doubt. So one of the last, I have two more questions for you, two or three. What was that? I did some research earlier, and you played 2019 U.S. national team, Pan American Games. You won a bronze medal, and you guys defeated Dominican Republic, and you had 25 points. What was that experience like?
That was a really cool experience. I got to do that with Jermaine, who was my teammate. But I mean, it was cool for me because it was in a different country. I was playing against different players, older guys. The game was completely different. And we got to play against guys who have played in the NBA before, guys who were on the Argentina national team in 2008, 2012.
They are playing against grown men professionals.
Yeah, it's professional basketball. It's grown men, so it's the game's a lot different. You're playing against different guys, different players.
No doubt. So for all the players watching, for all the young basketball players watching who are in high school, middle school, college, and beyond, what advice would you have? What what advice would you have? Speak to the viewers now. Any young players watching who admire you, who want to, kind of follow in your footsteps, what advice would you have for them right now?
Stay true to yourself. I mean, for me, I mean, I bet on myself. Be honest with yourself at what level you can play at, where you'll succeed, and where you'll benefit the most. I mean, for me, staying close to home, being around family, um, playing at Villanova, and knowing that their culture was the way that it was. Player development, I knew I was going to become a better player. Knew I was going to become a better person because that's what they preached. So you got to find a good fit for yourself. And Villanova was really based on family and culture and growing us as players in person, growing us as players and people. So that was important to me. But for the younger kids out there, have fun with it when you're younger. But as you get older, it gets more serious. So just make sure you're picking the right spots, trust people, have a corner that you can trust, like your family, certain coaches.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, I appreciate that. I'm sure the young people appreciate those, that wisdom, man, and that, just those tips, man. That's pretty much all I have for you, man. Before I open it up to the people for some Q&A, man, do you have anything else that you want to say? Anybody you want to shout out?
I mean, now let's do these questions, but I see a lot of my teammates are on here.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
high school, I got Keith, Matt, Ty. Those are my guys.
All right, so listen, people, it's y'all turn. Ask my man some questions real quick. I'm gonna just run through a couple. Somebody wanted to know, Kirsten Green wanted to know your favorite food on campus.
Favorite food on campus? That is tough because there's not many great spots. But I have to go with Cafe Nova. It's kind of just a mixture of everything you could get, like Italian food in there, kind of like a Chipotle bowl type thing, and then there's also like a grill station or a sandwich station. So those were all good.
No doubt. My man Kevin Gamlin wanted to know most points you ever scored in the game, like high school, college, anything.
66.
66.
Not in high school. That was in grade school. 66 was in grade school. 42 in high school and 30 in college.
Wow. 66. What grade? What level was that? What, middle school?
I was in 6th grade.
You put up 66?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Somebody else wanted to know your favorite player in the Big East besides any Villanova players.
In terms of like favorites, in terms of like their game or like that I'm close with.
Somebody you like. I guess they just wanted to know.
Miles Powell.
Miles Powell.
Yeah.
Somebody also wanted to know in high school, hardest player you had to guard in high school.
High school. Ooh. Again, Quad A or Fats.
No doubt.
That was my position. Those two guys I was guarding.
No doubt. All right, I'm gonna scroll through these questions here. Some people asked some good ones. Tyree Pickron, you said you had some questions. Ask away. Pickron said, "What's your favorite school plays? NBA." I'm not sure what that.
No, I don't know what that means.
Not sure what that means. Ask another question, Pickron.
Your boy from Plymouth White Marsh asked, so am I your favorite footer or Seth? Seth's my guy for life. That's my footer.
When did you start playing varsity in high school? You said, what, 10th?
Stop. I mean, freshman year I swung, so I played JV and varsity freshman year, but I didn't really play on the I didn't play varsity freshman year.
Gotcha.
Sophomore year I did.
Got you. Lauren Hussey wants to know, what's your favorite thing to do during quarantine?
Hang out with family, friends, hang out with my girlfriend. And then I go work out. I have a gym downstairs. I work out with one of my teammates, Chris Arch, a few minutes away. And then I will also work out with Tyree and Matt Cerruti. No
doubt. Pickron said, what's your after-school plans?
The NBA. That's what we're all trying to do, right, Ty?
No doubt.
Keith asked me what my favorite JV memory was, and my favorite JV memory was when we were in a JV game, and I remember he took a charge. And I remember he got a concussion taking a charge and couldn't walk off the floor. He was about to fall. Like, somebody had to carry him off the floor.
Yeah, that's crazy. And
It was crazy.
That's JV at Wood.
Yes, JV at Wood. He took a charge, and it was so funny.
Yo, JV game. People sleep on JV. Some JV games will be lit, man. JV's like a whole different experience, man. But JV don't get no shine, but JV games be lit.
We have the GOAT in here. Eric
Nick Cavallo wanted to know the best away game arena environment in college.
Butler.
Butler?
Yeah, it's just like old, kind of like historical, and like the environment gets crazy. It gets like hot in there and it gets loud. But that's probably my favorite place to play.
You said, so we got Pascal in here, right?
Yes, sir. That's the GOAT right there.
The GOAT, Pascal. We need a question from you, man. We need a question from the GOAT.
He would have won Rookie of the Year, right, E?
Any hair tips?
No. I kind of just shower and let it go.
No doubt.
They might be asking you about your hair tips.
Oh, beard tips. Hey, coconut oil, you know what I mean? Just keep it washed and moisturized. That's pretty much it. Juices and berries, the usual. Couple more, man. Couple more questions, or one or two. Anything you see?
Workout routine. I mean, we have workout from our coach, strength coach. He sends us some stuff just to keep like our bodies in shape and getting ready for when we have to go back.
No doubt. All right, I think I don't want to hold you hostage. I think we'll end it right here with the GOAT. The GOAT asks a question, and we'll wrap it up right here.
Favorite Nova moment.
Yes, favorite Nova moment, and we'll end it right here.
National championship my freshman year, for sure, 100%. But I also loved the Big East championship our sophomore year, because I don't think a lot of people thought we were gonna win, and then we had Eric and Phil kind of carry us throughout that year. So that was a lot of fun, and learning from those guys and watching them lead a younger team was it was really cool for me.
No doubt. Well, since we got the GOAT on, man, talk about the GOAT, man. Talk about Pascal. Talk about what he means to you, man, and what you learned from him, just what you appreciated about his game, playing with him as a teammate.
That's my big bro. He taught me a lot. He was always like, whenever I remember in practice, he was always the one that would cool people out our freshman year, and then he kind of got crazy his sophomore year being a senior. But I mean, he was a great leader for us. He kept everyone steady at all times. So, and you could always go to him about anything, and he was gonna help you with whatever. So, I mean, he's one of the best teammates I've ever had for sure, in terms of as a player and as a person. But then he's also unstoppable on the court. Let me tell you, he is very hard to guard.
No doubt, no doubt. Well,
actually, you know what?
Yes.
My team. Remember, Pickron, we played last year, my sophomore year, we played Tyree and Quinnipiac. And
that's what he said. He said
he
dunked on
him. Yeah, dunked on him.
Wait, what happened? Explain it again. Break it down. Talk about it.
He was he got switched on to Pascal, and I remember E was driving like baseline, spun back middle, and Tyree couldn't do anything about it. He spun and just punched it.
on peak round?
Yes, it was. I remember watching the video because Tyree was like kind of looking around at his teammates like, how did that, like, why did you just let that happen to me? Like, nobody came and helped him, nothing. It was kind of funny, but I felt bad for him because he was a freshman that year, and I was like telling him before the game, I was like, yo, don't get switched on to E.
He said Baker had his back in the film session.
Coach Baker had his back.
Yo, that's a classic story. I appreciate y'all. Sharing that, man. Y'all took this thing to a whole nother level with that story, man. Hey, I appreciate you, man. This has been fun, man. I appreciate your time. We've been on for a while, man. I appreciate all the people that have tuned in with us, have been interacting with us, man. Appreciate the GOAT, Pascal, jumping in with us, man. Peek around and everybody. Any last minute things before we tune out?
Nah, I'm all good. Thank you for having me on, man. I
For,
appreciate it. It
for
was fun.
sure, man. So God willing, I'll be able to get down to the Duke. How y'all like the renovation? You had some renovations down there to the DuPont, right?
To where?
To the stadium down there, Villanova.
Yeah, it's cool. You should come down and see it. There's a lot of new things. They did a great job with that. A lot of renovations and updates on championships and all sorts of things. Kyle Lowry donated a lot for a locker room.
No doubt.
So he's got a little area there, and then the 2018, like there's the part of the floors there. They got Chris Jenkins where he shot the shot, part of that floor. So it's really cool. I would definitely recommend getting down there to see that. It's cool stuff.
100%, man. So, God willing, whenever the world opens back up, we get back to normal, I'll be down. Definitely plan to see me in the building, man, for as many games as I can, be a part of for the rest of your career. And again, I can't say thank you enough, man. I appreciate your time, big dog. And also, when we get done, I'm gonna upload this entire interview to my YouTube channel, to my Raw Sports Films YouTube channel, so it'll be there forever, man.
Yep, appreciate it.
Yo, have all your people follow my people, man. Have them all follow Raw Sports Films, man, so we can,
For sure.
I need the support.
Everyone follow my man.
All right, Colin G. I appreciate your time, big dog. God bless you and your family, man.
You too, man.
All right.